And we're back. Hope you're done washing your hands. We just watched the press conference, and I got to tell you, it's worth doing a little bit of overtime here, Dan. You texted it to the group where we were watching this. This press event was just across the board looked like an absolute home run.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable press conference. They freaking outdid themselves. Hey guys, just full transparency. I have Chinese coming. The dogs will react. You haven't seen the dogs in a while, so exclusive. Also, I am currently bidding on a Shawn Michaels title on eBay. So if that interferes with it, I'm sorry.
Well, we're not gonna get too in depth in this. Here's the big takeaways from this thing, guys. Number one, CM Punk and Big E as a commentary team going forward are going to be a tremendous financial windfall for the WWE. They knocked it out of the park. Presentation looked great. It's clear that we're getting Rhea and Becky at WrestleMania. Yes, they telegraphed it. No, I don't care. I'm happy about it. I'm excited. But the main event of this whole thing, I'm gonna break it down real quick, get Dan's opinion before his Chinese food comes. Seth Rollins comes out. He's like, hey, let's bring out Cody and make our match official. Roman cuts this off. He says, this is my call. This is no one else's call. I choose The Rock. Rock comes out. Crowd, I would say liberally would say to be it's divided. It was like 80-20 in favor of they want Cody, they don't want Rock there. Rock is feeding off of this because dude's a pro. He knows what he's doing. And he's just trying to push forward. He's bringing up that he's calling them Cody Cryberry, but crybabies.
Cryberry. That sounds like a pinkberry flavor, Robert.
Cryberry sounds delicious.
It does
Uh,
sound
he
delicious.
puts up the family tree of the bloodline to show why this is such a deeply personal story. That this is one dominant family and that they are the only dominant family in wrestling. And the fans are booing, and he says, it doesn't matter what you want. We're getting Rock Roman. They hug. This brings Cody out. He's fired up. He says, this is bullshit. I'm the guy who won the Rumble. I make my pick. I choose Roman. Roman fires off at him, buries him in a positive way where he's like, look, you are as irrelevant as your father. That's what
It was
sparks.
pretty intense.
It
Yeah.
was great. Then Cody turns around and says, if your grandfather were here and if the High Chief Peter Maivia were here, they would be ashamed of you. Rock takes offense to that. He steps forward and says, hey, his ancestors are my ancestors. He slaps Cody. It leads to chaos. Then in the back, you got Hunter trying to make sense of it. Rock and Roman walk by, Rock cursing up a storm, which was fantastic, saying, you talk shit about my family. Either you fix this or I'm going to fix it. Everything's in chaos, Dan. They managed to change the narrative from, boy, we bungled things on SmackDown to what the fuck are they going to do? And we're excited.
Yeah, the only thing I'm a little bit nervous about, I hope it's not a tag, but I don't think it's going to be a tag.
I don't think it's going to be a tag, unless they could theoretically do a tag night one, but I doubt that they're going to. I think that
It's got to end on a singles match,
it's got
either.
to end on a singles, um, unless uh, uh, if there's a way to get to Cody Rock, that's kind of where, with that slap, that seems to be what they're teasing here.
Well, I mean, that would be a hell of a main event. Yeah, I don't, Robert, I don't know. I think it's going to be an incredible Mania. I don't know where Seth fits into this, and I think this is exactly what they wanted because it takes the attention off everything that's going on Vince. We're all debating what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The only problem is there going to be a payoff? And I think there is. I don't think this is going to be like the higher power. I think that this is gonna, man, I was really blown away. That's all I can say. I think the one criticism I have, if there is any, is that I wish Cody came out with his music and seemed a little bit stronger because I think he got eaten up by Roman and Rock a little bit. Um, yeah, man. I mean,
I mean, I think Seth's what's interesting is Seth's kind of the guy who got marginalized And it
Yeah, which I
feels
was fine with
like
that. I was fine with that.
it's fine, but I feel like if you're really spitballing this here, again, I don't think this is necessarily going to happen, but it felt like what they were leaning towards is night one, Rock Cody and Roman Seth, and then night two, Roman and Cody.
Is it going to be like a New Japan thing where they're going to like unify the titles? It should be, right?
It kind of, I mean, the fact that Roman has so consistently buried the world heavyweight title, that's the loser's title, that's a secondary title. I'm the real champion.
But
It
what
would
if he's going to win though? So it's like it's going to be unless Seth wins, and then it's Seth Cody. But
No, I think Roman can win. You've got maybe Drew involved. Like, there's other levers you can pull, but it really feels like the way they are positioning this that there is now a personal just hatred between Cody and The Rock because as far as Rock's concerned, he was insulted that Cody invoked the family name.
there's hate between Cody and Roman, Roman and Cody, Rock and Cody. And it seems like there's love between Seth and Cody and love between Roman and Rock. This is really firing on all cylinders, you know. I mean, I know it sounds like we're like like we're in the WWE camp, but I mean, how can you not love this shit?
I mean, this is the most compelling, weird thing. And like I said earlier on the show, the worst case scenario is that we wind up getting Roman versus Rock, which would still be a hell of a blockbuster match. When they faced off against each other and they put the graphic up on the screen, it's a strong looking graphic.
Well, my thing is now though, it's like, are we not going to get? So we're not going to get Roman and Rock. Are we going to get Roman and Rock? I mean, are we not going to get Roman and Rock?
But now this is where it's like so fucked because they gave you Roman Rock and the internet exploded and said like we don't want this. And now you're saying,
But
well,
they
now
look
we're
so
not going to
cool
get
staring
they,
down with one another. I mean, the thing is Rock. How many matches is the Rock going to have? So is the Rock going to have two matches, and then we're going to save for Rock and Roman later on, and or Roman and then Roman and Cody at SummerSlam. I mean, the thing is they really, if they want to, they've lined up their main events for the year. Um,
they have, but the thing about The Rock is anytime he's done one of these heel turns in the past, once
is it a heel turn though?
this felt like a heel turn. That crowd was booing the fuck out of him, and it doesn't matter what you think. The line about how there's only one family that matters in wrestling, or one run, which takes a shot at Cody and his bloodline. Um, it felt like Rock towing like cursing, walking in the back with Roman, like he hugged Roman, and then the two of them walking out together. When he's done these heel turns, you wait a little bit, he comes back, there's a smile, a wink, guys, I was just kidding, and then they love him again. So you can always pull the nose up and then find a way to get to Roman and Rock down the road. But it left you with more questions than answers, which is not what I was expecting. But at least these are good questions and good answers, as opposed to how we've felt since SmackDown, which was, boy, this was a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, this is something else, man. I mean, the only thing that's weird, it's weird that Cody gave up the spot now, and then, kind of, it looks like he's Indian giving well, I guess you can't say that word, Native American giving. I don't know. I guess it's just the whole thing. It's tragedy what happened to Native Americans. Anyway, I'll give them my Sean belt. Are you gonna hold my Sean belt when I get it?
What is the Sean belt?
I signed Shawn Michaels belt. I'm in the lead on eBay right now for $84. So
That's actually not a bad price for something like that.
not a bad
That's pretty
price at
cool.
all. Yeah.
You can mount it on the wall behind you. Yeah, Sean, only guy who wasn't there. That would have been fun to have him there as well. But I loved CM Punk constantly screaming, "Punch him in the face." I'm like, isn't that what got you in the WWE in the first place? Was hitting dudes in the face. They were having fun, and then the strangest thing about this, guys, is they're playing fast and loose with what they consider kayfabe. Like the way that Big E was talking about leaving while being in the mid card.
Yeah.
The whole guy, this felt like they're gonna do a tag man. Like they're having the same conversation that we are on TV. Audience is fully on board for this ride. And
There's just so many infinite. I'm sorry to interrupt. There's so many
mm,
infinite main events because it's like
yeah,
Rock and Punk seem like they have something again. I know we saw that a couple times. Punk and Roman have something. We still have Drew and Punk, Drew and Cody. I mean, this is Attitude Era like heat as far as in the main event right now.
that's how it feels. It feels like there are
Yeah.
so many guys, and we're not even talking about the fact that you still have Gunther hanging around, who when they decide to
Yeah.
pull the trigger on him as a main eventer, the little mention of Jey Uso to remind people of that, that was pretty great.
Right. They could always dust Austin off if he wants to do it. If he's not recording a cartoon, fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
They could definitely they could find something for Steve to do. It was interesting Hunter's opening comments about how this is the new WWE. Like, guys, this is the new WWE. Even when it seems like they shit the bed, they seem to kind of fix it. And Rhea and Becky look like stars. The guys look like stars. Bianca just coming out there and waving to the crowd worked. Presentation for this looked major.
It
Um,
would have been cool if what's her name confronted her, Jade Cargill, during it. That would have really set the crowd on fire. I mean, maybe they're just
yeah,
saving that for SmackDown.
I feel like
It,
I don't know if they're necessarily going with that, but we'll see. Like I said, this was just a little tail end snippet where we were giving our immediate feedback. We'll be back this weekend, I'm sure, doing some stuff for the Patreon. So check that out. I'm sure I'm going to wind up talking whatever happens on SmackDown. And Scott will probably want to talk some of the New Japan non Super Bowl related stuff. But until then, Dan, what's your final thought before you go bid $90 for the Shawn Michaels title?
thank you. I am at $90 now. People are going nuts for this belt.
Title.
I think this is the best press conference since Tyson Austin.
I was just going to say that the Tyson Austin
But
shove.
Tyson Austin was probably a little bit more interesting,
Well,
but
that one you didn't expect physicality at a press conference. This one,
right.
it was interesting to see what they did, but they definitely told the story well. Um, yeah, I think that'll do it for us here. Zach will splice this all together, and it's going to be seamless audio. Until then, guys, wash your hands.